He's in the hole. Where is your wife? Oh, she's at work. Oh, thank God. Where's she work? Yes, she's in the hole. Hello, Nina. You're, kind of crowding my space a bit. Step lightly. There's trees underground. That's fun. Look at the trees underground. The settings of this game definitely has moments. I mean, that was like the first positive thought I had was like, oh, look at this cave. It looks nice. Like the first second of gameplay. Hello, weird cicada monster or whatever. Gross. He's sending flies at me. Fucking rude. Oopsie. It appears I've found a dead end. I was supposed to go the other way. Fuck. You stop. Unfortunately.
It's about time I met the omnipotent Akara. I can tell him how I feel to his face, if he even exists.
Man, I was trying to click on something. Unfortunately, a striking new visual does not promise new gameplay, because we are immediately fighting boggarts and the same witch ladies again. But it does look nice. It's kind of cool. It's like that part of Sonic Boom: The Rise of Lyric, except if it looked good instead of really bad. With the weird spinny floaty roots and shit. Whoop. This one's gonna be a jog, it would appear. Hello. Holy shit, they like exploded. These guys are made of paper. Alright. There you go. Sometimes you just need to kill the dudes so you can click on a thing. Everybody explode. Oh, hi. I got bad news about how this do for you. No, I was trying to hold it. Ah, damn it. There you go. Nice little moments there. Some of the animations are really nice. I mean, obviously, like, as far as I can tell, because people keep comparing, like, there's a weird number of comparisons between this game and Devil May Cry, which, what the fuck? Have you played Devil May Cry or Bayonetta? Because it sounds like you just heard of them if you compare the two of them together. But I think some of it has to do with that there's a principle that's been proven where, God, the creaking, that's so distracting. It's still happening all the time. It happens in like 5 different locations that aren't similar. Why is it so loud? THQ, why did... You either introduced this problem or didn't fix it, and so you're responsible right now, THQ Nordic. Gotta be some way to get down there, eventually. There's like some sort of principle about how the, if you change the feel and sound of a gun, it's like perceived as being more effective, and like I really feel that when I play certain Halos and whatnot, where I've got my favorite things and guns just because they feel so good, and so I believe that they're good, because like it's not like you have like the theory crafting stats to break down how good it is or isn't. You just have how good it feels in the moment. All right, well, he's not gonna fight. He's ignoring me, and she can't hit him, so I guess I'll go. I guess I'll leave. I think I just hit. I think that was the switch. So, bye. Ta-da! He was not a very good guardian of that switch. He just walked away. But yeah, it's because of that game feel idea, though. I think that might be part of why people think the combat is like super cool, because it's not deep and it's not challenging, and there's not much to it. And by and large, you can button mash through most fights until there's a sudden bizarre difficulty spike, like that first time that I really hit a wall for a moment. And then even then, that wasn't like time to like engage with the deep difficulty. It was like it's time to use potions, basically. it's not comparable to the Tony Hawk style system and fighting game deep move set of a Devil May Cry game. It's just a bizarre comparison to make. They really do just want you. They're really hinging on you being in love with a combat system right about now, though. They legitimately want me to hang out and fight for like 2 hours to get to the next story beat. Sorry if you wanted to watch that, but I don't want to record that. I don't want to live that necessarily. This is just so many enemies I've seen before. Like, that's the same troll from the first dungeon of the entire game. And it's like, hey, look, what if we fought him again? I'm like, what if I didn't, actually? This appears to be a dead end. Oh well. Let's get him anyway. But like, I hypothesize that the animations are what sells people on the combat and kind of makes it feel better to them than it actually is mechanically. There just isn't that much going on for the most part.
It's about time I met the
Shut up. Takes me back to some of my struggles with the current. I was playing the next classic game for the classic slot, and that also has a lot of contextual prompt struggles where I'm just like, please open the door. No, don't swing your sword. Open the door, please. And that leads to some struggles. Like, why does this one button do 5 things and the other buttons aren't doing anything? Why did you do this to me, man? So one of these hallways keeps going. I think they might intentionally be picking whatever hallway is the furthest from looking like it goes to my objective, so that it's the one that I try last. And then that one turns out to extend. Yeah, that might be it.
Watch my back.
There we go. Or this is also a dead end. Everybody fucking die. Die, 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 die. There was definitely animators putting their fucking heart into some of the stuff. Not like facial animators and like cutscenes for the most part, but like this whole conversation started because I watched that tree guy die, and I'm like, oh, look at that cool, like, it's like body's going all weird and rigid because he's like a weird inanimate tree thing. There's like some cool details there. I guess he's technically a rock golem, not the troll from the first dungeon. But I can't help but suspect he's the same enemy, basically. Oh, he's a root golem, my bad. He sure looks like that he has the same moveset and skeleton of animation as the original guy. Like these death animations have the most loving care put into them out of like the entire game. Like I've no complaints about them except for the fact that they're embedded into a weird QTE that I never want to do. I don't really want to mash buttons ever again, honestly. For reasons other than trying to do what the button does. Nope. This time it was the south one. Ow! Like, the number of unique death animations is some pretty neat stuff. And they're like really... Some of them are just really cruel. And you're like, oh my fucking god, here I go. Like, you almost feel bad for the monster. Which has no characterization or sympathetic traits. But you're like, oh my god, what am I doing? No! Like those chitinous monsters that look like that remind me of the Starship Troopers bugs. And you like take one of their legs and you shove it down their throat. And it's like, oh no! And I think there's like some of these golem-y troll kind of dudes, you like impale them with a spear that through the mouth. And then they after a struggle, they fall forward onto the spear, which then just makes it press further through them. I'm like, ah! Like, easily the best part of literally the entire video game is those animations that are the reward for the fate system. Which is awkward, because I'm also like, I don't think the QTEs should be there. I'm also not sure if the fate meter should exist. They do pull it, they do the thing you should do, which is that they make it a mechanic for the final boss fight, so it makes sense in some level, but I'm not sure having a stupid I win meter is conductive to the game being interesting. It almost seems designed in a lab to pay off just in time for whenever you need to fight something actually dangerous, and then you just press the slow-mo button and defeat the entire boss fight in slow motion. Up to and including the point like that one first wall I encountered with the first difficult boss that I beat with a regen potion. I might have not had that trouble if I had the fate meter. I don't remember if I did or not. I feel like I'm back in that one Souls-like with the guns, the looter shooter Souls-like. Those are words I don't like mixing together, by the way. It's an unfortunate combo. Remnant, yeah. That was full of like root stuff. Like it's like what if druids? What if it was like the Hollows from Dark Souls, but it was all druid shit? And I'm like, that's an aesthetic I can get behind. And then strangely, it was also like a modern apocalypse. I'm like, that's kind of fucking cool. Didn't always love playing the game itself.
Come, Quickling. We have been waiting for you.
Are you the one creaking?
With us. Speak with Akara the Exile.
Ironically, you're known for exiling somebody else, huh? Or at least your people did. How did you get here?
We are the Exile. We did not desire to play the games of men and monsters. So we departed, seeking solace. On this island we took root, and here we first heard the cries of the lost, touched the tears of the broken. Quicklings bear such fragile yearnings. You need guidance. You need protection. Like us, you are exiles.
Do the villagers know the truth?
The souls at rest above know nothing. They know only what we reveal. They know what brings them peace, what gives them hope. That is how it was for many passing seasons. But now, all of it must come to an end.
There's a constant rumbling in the background, some kind of thump. And every time, it's an interesting detail. Every time it happens, my controller vibrates, but like a moment later, to like symbolize the distance, the difference between the time it takes to travel by sound and travel by the ground, I guess. I think is accurate, right? Like a lightning strike, you see it before you hear it, but like otherwise though, you would hear something before you feel it, I think. Just kind of a cool detail that they pulled off. What are you?
We are but one branch of the great tree, the ring of Kiozai, the watchers of our withering world. Only as a god would we be heard, and only as disciples would the people listen.
What is the ring of Kiozai? It sounds like we're building the lore of the entire universe, like the DLC.
We were the 12, the sons and daughters of Telogrus, and the branches through which all wisdom whispers. We are the ring.
What do you want?
To plant seeds, to inspire hope, to save. That is why we reached out to the Quicklings. But look at what our influence has wrought. Such a monster can only be born from power, and power will be the tool to unmake him. That is what we want. The unmaking of dead Kel.
This is why Kel has the weird red root stuff going on. I'm here to stop this.
Yes, Quickling. That is why I created the Scion. You are the vessel through which destruction will finally find dead Kel. That was always the purpose of the blessing. To give one individual the power to end this grievous cycle. Now, do what you came to do. End him, and end us. Think of it as one last offering to a grateful god. Akara will be no more.
And they just bring him here?
So, it has come to this. I have nothing left to give you. Nothing but my hate. Nothing but my blade.
That's why one of his arms and legs is all Rudy. Huh. This revelation isn't working for me. I don't think it is. I don't know if we even knew that the religion was apparently younger than Dead Kel. I don't know if we had a specific detail on how old the religion was versus how old Dead Kel was. I think we knew when he died, a couple hundred years ago or something. But Akara literally created this entire cult just to create Dead Kel, just to defeat Dead Kel? But like, you did a bad job. No one in the entire organization really ever talks about fighting Dead Kel, just hiding from him. And the Scion, which should be the most interesting character I've met so far, only briefly showed up in a side quest I could have skipped entirely, the previous Scion. And then she just attacks me unceremoniously, and then dies. And I don't think she talked about hunting down Dead Kel or that being her calling in life. It sounded like they always talked about... They always said the Scion just kind of meditates with Akara as their vessel or something, as if to keep them company, practically, not to, like, exact revenge on Dead Kel specifically. You think that would have come up a bit if their entire religion was about making a super warrior to fight Dead Kel. So this is just like a weird... What? Revelation? And I can't help but notice that once again they're doing the same thing they did in the main story, which is that at the end of the game you have revelations. Woo! And then conveniently those revelations change nothing about your goal, really? At least not on the forefront. I might be able to make choices that deviate here a bit or something, but like up until now, the clear and obvious stated goal from the second we started this mission, before we knew a single thing about this entire island, was that Dead Kel is an old pirate that came back from the dead, and you gotta go get him. Then you find out, oh, there's an entire cult on this island, and they worship Akara, and Akara created Dead Kel. It's like, okay, our goal is still go find Dead Kel and kill him, though, right? Okay. Actually, Akara's not a real god. It's like some kind of tree ring thing that looks like it might even be like throughout a network of the entire planet, and it might be some big world lore stuff that's going on here. Like it feels a bit akin to that one Dragon Age Inquisition DLC where it's like, hang on, what is this implying about how the world works? Which I don't remember that well because it's been a long time, but it was like one of the DLCs felt like it was like doing some insane shit. So all these revelations about the world and whatnot, right? And what is the outcome still? Dead Kel is still a pirate that came back from the dead, and you gotta fight him. And I'm like, why? I don't know, man. I can't help but think that in Mass Effect, this whole like build up and secret was just kind of like better done, because there was this element of like nobody believes that the Reapers are real. Saren is some kind of fanatic going after this thing, and at the end of the day, you need to become you as a Spectre are going to hunt down Saren and whatever the fuck he's doing with the Geth, because even if he's like, whether he's right or wrong about the Reapers and whether or not they even exist, like, he's fucking things up. He's all across the galaxy. He's doing horrible things on all these different planets. So he's, either way, he's like helping the Geth, and that's like its own problem and so on. And so when you have this moment of like, oh fuck, fucking you have your conversation with Sovereign. It's like that, like Like, I don't know, I was a teenager, so maybe it was just like a lack of, maybe it was just a formative gaming memory, but I'm like, fuck. This is serious now. This is bad. And that's with everything else that was happening on Vermeer, which is a lot of stuff. And you just have this emotional roller coaster of a planet. And then, like, God, the last 90 minutes of that game is even more, like, fucked up texture and revelations about the reality of what's happening in that universe. And, like, that was such an unfolding of textured events, and each one, like, I guess at the end, yeah, you are still hunting Saren, but the story and the context had changed so severely by the end. And like in ways that you wouldn't necessarily directly anticipate, I don't know. Or maybe you would, I don't know, everybody. Obviously, Mass Effect has its own tropes to lean on. But Dead Kel, like, you know he is back from the dead, and that's, so there's the thing that I hypothesized for a moment, and like, oh, we'll have to play with the idea that he's an impersonator. Nah. He's just Dead Kel, he's back from the dead. He was called Dead Kel before he came back from the dead for some reason, and he's Dead Kel. Him being back from the dead and not being a Fae means there's some sort of magic at work. So all that we really did was gain a very long explanation of the magic. But it doesn't necessarily change him? Why must we fight?
From the moment that you crawled across our beaches, Akara has beckoned to you. He has called you by name. Through Alder, through the Old Man Key, and perhaps even through me. In you, Akara can purge himself of any guilt. That is why you must die. Because you have been given all the tools with which to conquer me. But Dead Kel does not surrender.
What? I thought... Hang on, didn't we have a previous conversation, or you in some way indicated that you're basically begging to die, and that you don't want to be tormented by Akara's gift anymore? I thought you wanted to die. But now you're like, fuck you, I'm gonna live forever. Because I was gonna say, like, if you don't want people to come hunting you down, maybe you should stop making such a mess all the time, and practically begging people to hunt you. But then you're like... But then there was the extra texture of like, actually, I'm trying to find someone that will kill me. But now you're like, what? You've been given all the tools to kill me? Fuck you! I'm gonna fight you. I won't surrender. How did Akara save you?
The Alpha surprised me. Their war galleys waited just off the coast. Majors at the ready. It was over in seconds. Broken and bloody, I washed into these forgotten caverns and prepared my soul for eternity. It would have been a good place to die. That is when Akara, the fool, took it upon himself to save me. I had cheated the gallows, you see. I deserved that death in the cavern. I had won.
I'm sorry about this.
Spare me your pity. All I want is the power, and that is lost to me yet again. Many have died. What is one more?
You've killed too many.
I am a predator. Killing is what sustains me. But the sea does not judge. It only silences the screams. All I've ever done, I've done to survive.
No. That doesn't even make sense. You actively kill just because you want to. Did I just grasp at meaning and context and texture where it didn't exist? I thought he was like desperate to die and to be free of this curse, but there's no hint of that here at all right now. He's just a really boring villain that just is evil because he can be evil, I guess. That's... No moment of that other stuff is coming up at all. You shouldn't be alive.
No one knows that truth more than I do. And you believe you are the one who will fix Akara's mistake? No, not like this. I will take what belongs to me, what I should have received in exchange for my free will. I will get it from Akara, or take it from you.
Also, she's here. She didn't say a single thing the entire time! Come on, man! Game! I brought one of 3 companions, and they don't talk? What was the point of that? I'm supposed to be am I supposed to have really big opinions about their combat prowess at this point in the story? Is that why I would bring them? The whole reason you bring companions with you on a mission is so that they react to something, game. Have you never played an RPG before? There you go. Just had to hit him twice. Wait, is he not dead? Oh, now he's dead. She didn't say a single thing. She's just like boringly firing arrows off in the distance, and that's it. I forgot she was there.
That is what we want. The unmaking of dead Kel. Akara will be no more.
There basically wasn't a choice, huh? There was no like, oh, are you gonna side with dead Kel? Are you gonna side with Akara? Are you gonna see the curse that he's living under and help him? And no. It ended how we thought it would from the beginning. You kill dead Kel. Astonishingly quickly, because this game doesn't even have a semblance of combat balance. It's pretty impressive how I can delete half of a health bar in one hit. Bye. Is this the same hallway from which I saved the medic lady that I never saw again? I did notice that we saved those two people at the beginning of this story arc. And in the process we met this lady. And then we never met either of those two guys again. I think it was the husband and wife or something that we saved. I thought they'd be like the supporting cast of the story. Off we go. Alright, well that was dead Kel. Yeah, they I don't know. They gesture at the idea of how you do a climax.
Akara gone. Yet here we stand, alive, and the bright waves out ahead of us. This life, it is all I know. As much as I desire to leave this place, it is my home. And it needs me now more than ever. My mother is dead. My father is broken-hearted. There is much to be set right.
Also, your entire belief system is fake, so that's fun. Your mom already died anyway in service of it. That's brutal. There wasn't even like the next Scion person's life is at stake. And if we disprove this or whatever, we can like stop this cycle. It's like, no, they're super dead. Whoops. We didn't even like exercise the possessor out of her. She just super died. Anyway. Whoops. All right. Sir.
The tunnels have been cleared, my liege. You are free to roam Gallows End to your heart's contentment. As far as exploring the island goes, I would recommend bringing on Zephyrin Land from Cape Solace as your scout.
Who? What should we restore next?
I think you'll like what I have planned next. A vast library. Just imagine, a monument to the wisdom of the ages, standing there beside the main structure, beckoning the unenlightened. But first, I'll need you to get me 3 bundles of bear hide, 3 bundles of ember wood. Zephyrin has provided me with possible locations of the material. I'll be ready to start as... Bye.
Blah, blah, blah. All right, we don't need to hear all the logistical conversation each time, so we'll just skip that part. And so we continue the big building faction. It's like other factions, but like instead of the huge, you do this. Was that my best? Was that my waypoints? We'll see how it works. I do have to wrap all the way back around. Man, whoops. I didn't unlock anything in the main chunk of this area as a waypoint. I hope this pays off or has a storyline or something. I'm definitely hoping I'm not just projecting the texture again where none exists.
Lo,
We sing of good kings shipborne and stout, from fasting waked and white wind whispered. He was Ulfston chief, father of foundlings, boasted and beloved. With bitter mandate they laid him upon a serpent steed. Kin kissed the brow and wept, tears into the flames, until mournful billow and scarlet banner bore him north. Treasures heavy upon his heart. The great blaze bloomed, jewel bright and wild, a dark night lit by kingly fire.
Badoop. Oh, hey everybody. Everybody fucking die. Die, 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 die. Down there and around bit scattered. Alright. The area is less blobby and more stringy, I guess, than I anticipated. So I'll have to double back a bit back and forth as I get these things. I'm definitely hoping that they don't drop the fucking dream, the storyline. And it doesn't, I'm like whenever I talk about texture and whatnot, it doesn't have to play out exactly the way that I, like, add stuff to myself. In some ways, it's even a little disappointing if it plays out literally exactly how I guess. But if instead of playing out the way I guess, it plays out not at all, and they just skip the opportunity to do something interesting, that's much worse! I would rather I'd rather there be predictable but textured writing over the surprise of just kind of nothing happening, obviously. So my go-to is I'm like, okay, this guy is weirdly having dreams about this place, he's being called to it, he's clearly obsessed. It makes no sense, as I've pointed out before, how fucking obsessed he is with this entire thing, and how weirdly into it he is, considering, like, what? That once again, there's no kingdom here. He is not he's not like a real architect or engineer would behave, where they would be so excited to land a big contract that's super profitable. I am not paying this guy, and I don't have power beyond the fate stuff, which he doesn't even know about. So I'm hoping that there's something kind of dark going on here, and he's like being pulled in by this thing that might be buried under the castle, like sort of pushing him to renovate the thing and so on, but it's actually just to uncover this, like, monster or something like that. Cause, like, that's a fun idea that I would like to see about. Return to Tari Holstig. And they don't have to do what I'm thinking, but I hope they do something. Get back to Tari. It says to go there. I'm not sure what that entrance is. Let's see. Oh, is he just standing right here? I think he is.
Despite its faith in Akara,
No.
be well.
So you killed her? I don't know what to feel. I've dreamt of this day ever since I was pulled from that stinking black raft. Since I watched them roll my mother in a shroud. And she was right. I don't feel better now that I've avenged her death. It just makes me miss her more. Thank you. Take this, it was Mother's. I have my memories.
Dead Kell.
He has lorded over this island for as long as I can remember. Luckily, he left us alone most of the time. I'll never be sure why.
Because there was a giant god tree under your village that made it so he couldn't go there. I guess because he was specifically bound to its magic, because that was the source of his current immortality, and he didn't want to die after all, despite it seeming like a lot like he wanted to die. Unless I just made that up. I'm so confused about that. Like, did I just invent that entire idea that there was like a tragicness to him?
I feel more intelligent just building this library. What do you have here? I'll start work right now.
How goes the restoration?
The library is still not finished. Ask me again later. Bye.
Ask me again later. Is this the armory? Yep. I imagine that just means there's a blacksmith station here. Basically. Are these all stashes? Oh, the chests. What? Are there chests full of money? Okay. Are any of them a stash? Because like a stash I could use. I know there's one in my bedroom, but I could also use a stash here. Really, the more access to stashes, the better. Just good for management. Let me dump my inventory items for other classes so that I can potentially switch to them. I guess now-ish, if I'm going to try another build. Very funny to me that sound plays the entire loading screen whenever I accidentally press that. Okay. There we go. Hey, so your religion's fake. Oh, it's this guy.
I saw you coming. The cards spoke to me like they have not in ages. You are the one I was marooned here to find. My path has been made for me. You see, there are few in this world who can truly plot its course. Many try, but all of them fail. Great figures always rise up. Sometimes the gods create them, and sometimes they create the gods. But true heroes are born.
What's happening to his
Or
back?
in your case, reborn. You are the scion now, and you carry with you the blessing of Akara. There is no one on this earth more worthy of being called a god than you. And so I will go, to prepare the way. For when you come, the world changes, and the people must be ready.
Buccaneer, by slaying the notorious pirate king Dead Kel, you've proven yourself cunning and resourceful, the master pirate hunter of the vast and treacherous Frostback Break Sea. 3% chance to crit, 5% physical resistance, minus 10% to equip requirements. Ah, that's a different stat. Key.
Before you came, I was waiting to die. I'd given up, you see. But I've seen what you can do. If you can change the world, perhaps I can as well. Not in the same way, of course, but, well, enough to make a difference. Return, if you need my sight.
Is that the end of the quest chain? What? The end of the quest chain doesn't involve talking to the guy that leads the village and religion? It's a weird thing to skip over. I guess I can talk to the daughter real quick too. Oop.
Hello, Gallows End is where I belong. There's much to do to rebuild the village and repair morale. I'm just the woman to do it.
Akara.
I almost pity the poor creature. He gave all of his power to mortals so we could live and enjoy better lives. And what was his thanks? Dead Kel for an offspring. Tragic.
So no complex feelings there, really. Just like, oh, that's sad. I'm completely sympathetic to Akara. Dead Kel?
Not as dangerous as he appeared, the dread pirate. Or perhaps you're just more powerful than any of us realize.
Yeah. Yeah. Gallows End.
There's no place I'd rather be. Took the loss of my mother, my god, and my one chance at escape for me to finally realize that.
No, there's just a ship over there. You can just come with me. You know, your chance of escape is not gone.
There's a need for me on Gallows End. One that I dare say wasn't here for me before. Without my father's strong faith, the survivors will look to me for leadership. I'd be proud to follow him.
Hadric Dower.
Never quite fit in with the rest of us in the village. Didn't do his part, carry his load. Apparently he's got other plans. I don't know why my father put up with him.
Scion Guard.
The Watchers. They don't look like much of a threat, but they'll melt the flesh from your bones if you so much as look upon the Scion with malice.
The Scion.
Gone. Both the old and the new. Never realized how much we needed them until they were taken. Especially my mother. Pfft, you won't stay. You'll take Akara's power and leave. Every Scion does.
Are they known for leaving? I thought we were specifically told the Scion is dedicated to a life of meditating with Akara, who, as we know, only has power right here. Now you're saying that all of the Scions take the power and leave? I'm trying so hard to pay attention to the story of this game and just, like, piece together what they're saying, but they say shit like this, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, first of all, Akara said, they said that Akara will be no more, like they're leaving, or like they're done, so it's weird that I even have a residual power at this point. But also, yeah, of course I'm leaving. That's what happens, that's all that happens in this game. Every time that you finish a storyline, you get up and leave. This game needs, instead of copying the Oblivion faction system that was always kind of broken and weird, they need to go, like, what, Fable 3, I think it was? Where you spend the first half of the game deposing an evil lord, and then when you take over the kingdom, he's like, ha! Fuck you then, whatever. Here's the big looming threat that's coming. This is what I was trying to prepare for. Now all my actions have some context, don't they? Ah, well, have fun dealing with this, fucker. And then you have to, like, try to run a kingdom and make choices over the course of a timeline while a looming threat approaches, and you're wondering if you're making the right choices or not. And I don't remember if Fable did a good job at that idea or not, but it's at least, like, you know, a thing. Specifically, there's a storyline after you're the leader of the thing where you have to actually deal with the life of being the leader of the thing. I'm currently the leader of, like, almost every organization I've ever heard of, and none of them even fucking call me. Like, and no one knows that I am, and it just doesn't matter. And, like, I'm just gonna add fucking being the Scion of Akara to my fucking inner jacket where I keep all my gym badges. That's what this is. It's just, they're like, it makes sense, at least in Pokemon, right? Like, you deal with a particular town's, like, storyline, and then you defeat the gym leader and you get a fucking badge, which is literally all it is. It's just a reference. It's just a signifier that you accomplished that thing, and then you move on with your life. Not the fucking implication that you have to be the fucking chosen one that runs every town and city and everything in the world simultaneously. That's just a shitty way to try to write these characters. It's part of the eternal hand job where you're always told that you're the biggest, coolest, bestest guy in the entire universe, and you're so important all the time, to the point where, like, I barely walk into a room and a guy that I'd never even heard of before will just immediately just start blowing me, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Why is everyone talk to me like this without even really knowing who I am half the time? And it's like that bizarre weird, like they can't imagine a different outcome to a storyline for some reason without you literally joining the faction, rising to the top, and being the leader over the course of, like, 2 hours. And you barely, in some of these cases, I literally barely understand how the faction works or what their goal is, and, like, who half the people are. But now I'm the most important person in the entire thing, and it's like, it's not good storytelling. There's nothing about that feels satisfying beyond just being told you're great all the time.
Be well.
It's like, cool, I'm a Scion. I barely understand what a Scion is, but I'm the Scion. Fuck all you guys that are an entire culture of people that have obsessed over this your entire lives. I'm gonna go shit on this entire gift. Also, your god's not real. Fuck you, bye. Which would be funny if it was intentional, but most of that doesn't seem to be intentional. Most of it's like, I'm supposed to pay reverence to all these titles I'm gathering, and I'm like, how could you amass such importance in this universe and pretend it all matters at some point when some dude just runs everything? And also, yeah, like, I'm trying to pay attention, but, like, half the stuff that I can remember from the story contradicts everything else I hear from the story. So all the Scions just take the power and leave? Because the first guy really made it sound like they were always in constant meditation with that person, to the point where I thought that they were literally going to be stuck inside that building for the rest of their lives. But then the Scion's just off somewhere else, And then she like politely lectures me about some stuff and then tries to murder me, and then I killed her. Which I don't even know if they know that I did that specifically. There's just like a lot. There's a lot going on. Are you my companion forever now? I think she is.
Oh, you've come at last. I've been praying for your return. Cape Solace is under attack. Ships have landed. Prisoners have been taken. We have no one left to protect us.
What? Who?
Members of the village. A scout and several gatherers. Innocents who have called this island home for many years. Who do these invaders think they are to hold lives hostage? To demand a power that does not belong to them?
What do the invaders want?
They want the power beneath this island. Akara's magic, which many over the centuries have coveted and sought to possess. Understand, Gallows End has long been a prize for the corrupt and the curious. The Arathi, the Alfar, the Tverga, and even Dead Kel. Invaders come brandishing their weapons, but always they are swept back out to sea. They are not welcome here.
By who? Like, honestly, who does fight the invaders? It doesn't seem like you have anyone that does that kind of thing. We never indicate that the Scion does it, and that they're like the only thing close to an Akara power around here for the most part. It'll be fine.
I want to believe you, but without our guardian Akara watching over us, we are nothing but victims. Now we face these new invaders, and the world, alone.
I'll rescue your friends.
I certainly believe that you will try, but I have learned my lesson. Never again will I place our lives in the hands of another. Don't you understand? We are all alone, each and every one of us. The prisoners are being kept in a cavern in the northern cliffs. Do your best. That is all any of us can do.
Dude, I literally defeated Dead Kel. Wow, it's really far away. Ah, damn it, I didn't get that? I was right there. I stood like, oh, I did loop back around. I got this far and that wasn't close enough. Alright. Back to running a lot. Oop, wrong way. Bro, I defeated Dead Kel. You don't think I can defeat whatever randos decided to capture some people for some reason? I'm literally gonna hold X and they're just gonna die. Watch me go, bro. Haha. I don't know if I have the gear to make other builds work. I guess we'll see. Jogging, jogging, jogging. Yeah, I figured I'd do any quest he had because it might be follow-up to the end of the story, and I think it is because he sounds really disillusioned, like this is his new outlook now that... Something was slow-mo for a second there. It seems to be his new outlook now that Akara has turned out to be fake. But I do need to go back and exhaust his other dialogue after I deal with this to see what else... if there's any other changes to go on to. Although Akara turning out to be a giant magical tree that's a weird route through the entire world, I don't know, like if you believe in gods, I don't know how that's really a distinct difference. Seems a whole lot like that's a god, basically. Interesting, I was here and none of this was on the map, but it was there though. Just had to get across that threshold. But at the time the map looked like a dead end. Hi guys. Bye guys. I believe that's the entire quest. Oh no, there's a cave. I'm like, did I just defeat the entire, like every enemy of this entire quest in one hit? Hi. I have basically infinite of this. Bad news for you. Bye guys. Look at you gesturing at me like you're gonna do something. Anyway, bye. My fire attack doesn't even have a cooldown. I can just spam it. It basically doesn't even cost mana. Somebody made this combat system on purpose. I didn't even try to min-max. That's what's freaking me out a little bit. Like, I always hear about how, like, if you press these certain things together, you get a completely broken PvP character in Demon Souls that regenerates health infinitely, and, like, I've been invaded by some of those dudes and be like, what the fuck? I've played this game multiple times, and I don't necessarily know how your character is so broken to the point where it feels like you're hacking. This game, I didn't even try. I just put on some gear that had numbers as I went forward, and just picked the stuff in the skill tree that, frankly, doesn't really have much flexibility or options. You pretty much just, like, if you're a mage, you're pretty much going to be the same character for the most part as other people's mages. You just might be like, I like using the defensive bubble, which I skipped over, and that's about it. So I don't know how I got this broken. I can't help but think that everybody ends up this broken, and the level cap is 50, and I'm 25, so I have so many questions.
Someone came. I thought all hope was lost. Everyone else is gone. Dead. Tortured by a madman named Calder Von. He wants the power of this island. That which belongs to Akara. If only he knew the truth. There is no time. You must go. Von has brought with him Niskaru. They will wipe Cape Solace off the beach and kill anyone found there. Go.
Ah! He, like, exploded. Why? That was weird. So the Niskaru are back? I thought I guess I didn't defeat, like, all of them or anything. The Niskaru and the Tuatha were, like, tied to the evil dragon, but not, like, only existing because of the evil dragon. I guess they're still around, just not necessarily working for the same force. Just kind of being dicks and existing, like, around, you know? Just being dicks. Sometimes people just like being dicks. Look at them to go. They're being dicks. That guy exploded. That was a hell of a death animation. That seemed to not like what they were going for. It sounded like somebody cast the fire spell on him and then detonated like I do. They're back. Crouching over the bodies of the previous ones. Well, you all conveniently got in their configuration to die the same way as the three people. Hey, 3 bodies in a triangle formation that are dead. I wonder how they died. I don't know. Let's all stand exactly on those spots and see how to... Oh, here we go. I see now. And then they died. The end. We got bad news for you. Explode. Oh! One of these guys. Ow. Oops. Did that wrong. Okay, that's enough of you. Oh no, they almost got the village. Oops. I just added it directly to junk from my inventory, that's funny. I meant to press compare, I think. Wait till you find out, dude, that like this village is completely pointless. You died for nothing. All you had to do was just go down the cave if you wanted to seek the blessing. I guess you had to kill me, so you really should have been hunting me. I'm the one that has the current blessing, so you gotta kill me, I guess, first? Or you gotta go to the offering point? Honestly, it feels like the giant tree has to opt into giving you the power, so I don't think you can really get it from him against your will, against his will.
Once again, a threat to Gallows End has been defeated. I wish I could say it was the first such attack. But perhaps a new season has begun. One where we must fend for ourselves and not fall back on the promises of a faceless god. I don't know who you are, stranger, but your presence here has shaken us. We will survive, but it will take time.
Leave. Akara.
I will not discuss it.
Cool. Yeah, I guess that's better than writing things. It's just the leader of the entire fucking religion that we just found out isn't real. Why would we want to fucking write anything about what he might do, huh? Okay, Jesus. Really, man? Like, on some level, the idea that he wouldn't want to discuss it makes some sense. But it's also like a payoff of like showing any kind of like crisis with this guy. Like, what does this mean to him? Like, he's supposed to be my conduit to this entire like micro civilization, essentially, because everybody else I talked to is some kind of outsider, including his own daughter, was like planning on leaving and isn't completely immersed in this stuff. So like, that's just a frustrating lack of follow-up. So like, while a real person, it would make sense that they didn't want to talk about it. This specific fictional character, it feels like a shortcut to not really bother with it.
Time is what I need. Time and faith. Not in Akara, but in myself. There was never a god here on Gallows End. But that doesn't mean good things were not done in his name. One day I will understand what that really means.
Except there was a god. Whatever the fuck the giant tree was, it sure looked like I walked into a giant cave that had basically a god in it. Like, what were you expecting, honestly? Scion's Guard.
They are called the Watchers. You will know them by their robes and masks. They are the silent guardians of Akara. The Scion is their voice. Both the outgoing Scion and the one who has been newly chosen are protected by these ancient warriors.
Atari Holstick.
I once knew Atari, but he was just a boy, and that was many years ago now. I wonder whatever became of him.
The Scion.
You are the Scion now. My wife Bridget gave her life to stop Dead Kell's plot. It was a sacrifice to keep the rest of our village safe. That is how I will remember her. Strong.
She gave her life to stop Dead Kell?
And this is goodbye.
Kind of want to go back to the original conversations about the Scions now. I don't remember them mentioning them being like a spirit warrior that fights Dead Kell. But now it's being contextualized as like, yes, my whole goal was to defeat Dead Kell. That's what I do, is I defeat Dead Kell. I'm like, wait, that's what you do? I don't remember that being the plot at all. That's news to me, I feel like. Weird.
It's done, my liege. Be sure to have a look around. I am certain you'll be impressed. Incidentally, I've taken the liberty of inviting a recent castaway, a Deirdre Gwent, to serve the keep as your librarian and linguist. You should speak to her in the library.
What should we restore next?
We've built out, yes, but now it's time to build up. In my dream, the keep was much taller than it is now, and the debris does suggest that there was once a second floor above the throne room with an art gallery. I'll just need you to get me the following materials: 4 bundles of beachstone, 3 bundles of emberwood, 2 bundles of sailcloth, and 3 bundles of sea steel.
Most of the things that you say don't even make sense here. Tell me more about your dream.
My dream sheds no light on how the second floor was used. I recall flashes of gold and other bright colors, but I don't know what to make of that. I suppose I'll just build it and see what inspiration occurs.
What do your books say?
The books mention the construction of a second floor, but nothing about how it was used. Perhaps it was just there to make the keep taller and more impressive, so I'm all for that.
An art gallery?
I'm not sure that the Diverga are much into art, but it was in my dream that the second floor was an art gallery.
I thought you said it was just like some gold flashes or whatever that you didn't know what to make of, and then you're like, in my dream it was definitely an art gallery. It's like, isn't that what you did not just say?
My dream sheds no light on how the second floor was.
Yeah, this what the fuck, bro?
I suppose I'll just build.
God damn it! I'll get what you need. Jesus Christ! God, proofread, man. What is up with the writing in this game? How fast were they required to write this game? Because it feels like they must have just been like, fucking go, 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 go. Quick, get to the voice actors. Like, he has 2 lines of dialogue right next to each other, one of which where he describes his dream, where he's like, I don't know, I'm not sure what I saw. There was like some gold flashes. And he specifically says the phrase, in my dream, I did not, I can't say the exact phrase, but it was like, my dream did not detail how the second floor was used, or something. And then the other dialogue option that is not about his dream says, my dream said it was definitely an art gallery. Like, those 2 sentences aren't even, like, it's not even, like, open to interpretation. They just overtly and specifically contradict each other. And instead it goes... and then it goes through all the stages of being, like, implemented into the game and programmed into lines and voice acted by a professional voice actor and so on and so forth. And all that's implemented and nobody catches that? Like, I don't know, man. Am I insane? It sure seems like that was very obviously wrong, right? I feel like that was very clearly a contradiction. Like, inescapably so. That's... what? Why? Womp womp. Let's see, I might try respecking as a warrior or something. I just have no idea. I have no idea if I have the equipment for it, is the problem. You have a decent number of equipment slots to try to, like, switch back through. There's a certain, like, in the interest of fairness, like, element, but I'm also worried that the process of, switching might be, like, a big multi-hour affair of trying to gear up and pick skills, all to then beat the expansion in 2 hours, and then go to the next expansion and be like, time to respec again. Here we are. These giant shells. One of those things that's like it's a really cool visual, but I do end up wondering, like, what I'm supposed to think about them. Like, how did that get in here? It's to me, it's like, geologically, it's like it's almost implied that the cave could be older. The shell could be older than the cave, and it all, like, formed around it or something. Alright. Their AI broke and they can't get to me, but I can't continue until they die. Bye-bye. He's like, go get some sailcloth and stuff. I'm like, Everything you describe sounds like it's pieces of ships, basically. Which thematically makes some sense, although the places I'm finding them are getting weirder. But you're gonna make a castle out of that stuff? I should look up at the castle again. Out of curiosity, see if it, like, if it looks like it's built out of a ship. Like, if it's like Monster Hunter World's, like, hub area, where it's like where it's all themed after being built out of various ships that they brought, that they came on in the first place, being repurposed as buildings. Because that's fun. But if it just looks like a keep, I'm gonna be like, hang on a minute. You're telling me I walked around in a dungeon for like 10 seconds and I amassed all of the materials it took to do this? There's definitely like a different scale to it. I'm trying to remember the structure to it, specifically in like Pillars of Eternity. But I think in Pillars of Eternity, it's contextualized as like, you've got people working on this kind of stuff over long periods of time. And you have like a growing staff and people that work under you, I think. And you have like construction projects that require all sorts of resources. And there's like a lot of games that are about running a kingdom and stuff like that. this game contextualizes it strangely as just like, yeah, just like wander over there and grab some shit out of a cave with your bare hands and then come back, and then, you know, come back in like 12 hours and I'll have the entire second floor of the building crafted. And you're like, you'll what? How? I have questions about everything you've said to me, sir. How the fuck did you do that? Secret doors. I'm kind of just curious what I'll see in some of these cases. So I can't buy the next tier yet, but it otherwise requires new spells I don't necessarily want. I don't use chakram buttons that way. The hold one, maybe that one. It's gonna take a while to reach the next tier. Y'all make spooky noises.
It's coming along nicely, don't you think?
I have what you requested.
And what do we have here? I see. That should be everything. Bye.
Now I come back later again. And I guess I'll come back. I guess I'll start the next expansion and then just kind of come back fast travel wise every now and then. I guess that makes sense. It's a weird trend in RPGs that they often add. A lot of open world RPGs add a weird progression system like this where you're like building something or have some kind of home or something. But they do it like the first expansion because they didn't do it in the base game. I guess because it's often a requested feature maybe, or something that it seems to be demand for. Often a weird complicated system that they cut maybe in development. Where's that deck of cards icon? I need it so I can become a different spec. I don't know where he went. Well, that's not good. He's not on the map. I can maybe go back home to Rethier? Oh. Nope, you have to go back via the boat. Okay. But yeah, the choice to make it the... you can't fast travel to and from this place bothers me a bit in terms of finishing that keep. That means it might not be easy to get in and out. Maybe I just have to do this once. But yeah, this is often a thing that happens in like the first expansion. The issue being that they often have to like awkwardly truncate the progression system because it's often going to be played by people that already beat the game as opposed to being implemented smoothly into the base experience. But also, in many cases, the property is jammed away on a weird secluded location that the expansion takes place on, instead of a place that you'd actually want your home to be in. It's often like a very strange, compromised thing by the time it makes it into a game.
You had me worried. Honestly, why do you act like that, throwing yourself headlong into dangerous situations? No more. Do you hear me? If you and I are going to woo, and woo with vigour, you're going to be more considerate of my needs. And there are many. Like sex. I mean sex. To show that you're my consort, you should take this. It's a sword. It was my mother's. She was a terrible person.
You said she was wise. I guess she can also be terrible. You said she was wise but sad. Dead Kel.
Not as immortal as everyone supposed, was he? At least I had a hand in his defeat.
Did you?
As my mother always said, if you can't be the best at something, find the best, grab onto them, and never let them go.
You like to quote your mother a lot that you just said was a horrible person, but you also subscribe to the things she says a lot. But your contribution was you crashed me onto this island and then you stood here for the next 10 hours. I want to sail.
That I can do.
Can you? That's the one thing you're known for not being able to do. I grow concerned. Really? We're back? No, nothing happened?
Ah, hello, my love. Shall we walk along the cliffs? Share a stew of eels and oysters? Ew, I take back the last one.
Nope, that's it. I guess she's fine. Maybe Dead Kel's ship is like a super ghost ship that just sails itself. We didn't have a crew to sail with. They all died. We had 2 people, basically. Besides us. And we're just back with no incident? That's like not a payoff of her character at all. Huh. She's weird. They tried. She never was the payoff of the promises that I hoped she would be. But they tried. I think I have to fucking look up where to respec or something. I even have the gear with which to do it. I don't know if I'm gonna bother. Nah, let's just start the next expansion. I don't think I have, like, a full set of gear to deal with it, and I don't... If these expansions are only gonna be like 3 hours long, I don't know if I want to spend an hour building a new build every time I start one. Let's find out what they did next. This was progress, kind of. Even despite all the rants, there was things about this that went places that was a little interesting. I'm curious about Teeth of Naros. There we go. That's definitely the next one. It's funny because I knew about this game at the time, so like those are the names I remember from back in the day when I was watching this game from afar. I know the Dead Kel and Naros are the DLCs that were from back in the day, and Fatesworn is the new one. But yeah, like I wanted to like her, but she was such a weird mess of self-aware and not self-aware when being not self-aware was clearly the premise, but she keeps explaining her own flaws at you. And I don't know, she suffers from the usual stuff where almost everybody's lines contradict themselves in a weird mess. Quite a game. See you next time.